Tonight's video features 3 long, extremely disturbing true-style horror stories. Turn off the lights and listen carefully. Some encounters never leave you. This happened in 2021 when I moved into a cheap basement flat in Leeds. The landlord told me the low price was because the previous tenant moved out suddenly. I didn't think much of it. The basement had small windows lined right at ground level. Anyone walking outside could look in if they leaned close enough. For the first 2 weeks, nothing strange happened. Until one night, around 1:45 a.m., I heard a faint dragging sound outside my window. It sounded like a hand brushing across gravel. I froze in bed, listening. Then it happened again. Drag, 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 as if someone was crawling along the ground, right next to my window. I lifted my head slightly. The blinds were shut, but the silhouette of something moved across them. Very slow, very close. I whispered, "Hello?" half hoping I was just imagining it. Everything went silent. Then something tapped the glass, not once, but in a pattern. 3 slow taps, like someone testing if anyone was awake. I slowly got out of bed and crouched on the floor. My breathing was loud, too loud, so I covered my mouth with my hand. The tapping stopped. For about 10 seconds, nothing happened. Then, suddenly, the person outside pushed their fingers between the blinds and the glass. I saw pale fingertips slide inside, wiggling as if trying to reach further. I couldn't make a sound. I couldn't move. Then a whisper came from the window, a low, shaky whisper. "I see you." I fell backwards in shock. The fingers withdrew, and I heard the person crawl along the wall. Not walk, crawl. Their hands scraped the concrete as they moved from my bedroom window to the small bathroom window. I heard them pull themselves up, their nails scratching the frame, trying to find a grip. I dialed 999, whispering, crying, barely forming words. While I was on the phone, something slammed against the bathroom window, like a face hitting the glass. Then a voice said, "Let me in, please, just let me in." The operator stayed on the line as I ran into the kitchen. I grabbed a knife and sat with my back against the fridge, shaking uncontrollably. 5 minutes later, police arrived. When they checked the outside wall, they found handprints all along the ground. Not footprints, handprints. Like someone had dragged themselves using only their hands. The officer told me something that still keeps me awake. He said, "This isn't the first call from this address. The last tenant reported the same thing, someone crawling outside the windows at night. But they never found who or what it was, or how it kept returning without leaving footprints." I moved out the next morning. Sometimes, late at night, I still hear that voice in my head. "I see you."
In 2019, I worked at a 24-hour convenience store just outside Bradford. We had only 2 employees working after midnight, 1 cashier, me, and 1 stock worker in the back. One night, around 3 a.m., my coworker, Adam, went on his break. He left through the back exit to smoke. That left me alone in the store. About 5 minutes later, I heard the door chime. Someone had entered. Except, I didn't see anyone. I stepped out from behind the counter. The aisles were completely empty. Then, something hit me. Every single aisle had at least 1 product lying in the middle of the floor. Crisp packets, cans, milk gardens. Like someone had walked down each aisle and pushed 1 item off the shelf. I called out, "Hello, we're still open. If you need help, just ask." Silence. Then I heard footsteps, not fast ones, slow, dragging ones. They came from aisle 4. I walked over cautiously. I peeked around the corner. Nothing. But something was wrong. The air felt heavy, like someone was holding their breath behind me. I stepped back and glanced at the convex mirror mounted above the aisles. In the reflection, I saw a figure, a tall figure, standing completely still at the end of aisle 6. I spun around, but nothing was there. The figure had vanished. At that exact second, the store lights flickered. All of them. Every aisle went dark for half a second. When they came back on, the door chime rang again, even though the door didn't move. By now, my hands were shaking. I shouted, "This isn't funny!" Then I heard it, whispering, coming from the back of the store. It sounded like someone breathing heavily, followed by a soft, broken voice. "Don't leave me alone again." I ran to the back room to grab Adam, but when I opened the door, he wasn't there. Instead, the room was pitch black. The only light came from the CCTV monitors, and on one of them, camera 4. The tall figure was standing directly in front of the camera, blocking it completely. I could see only the shape of a head and shoulders, breathing slowly. Then a whisper came from right behind me. "Found you." I turned around, nothing, just darkness. I sprinted to the front of the store and called my manager. He rushed over. When we reviewed the CCTV, every aisle was clear, except aisle 6. For 12 full minutes, the camera showed static, as if someone was standing directly in front of it. My manager quit the next week. I lasted another 2 days. Whatever that thing was, it didn't want to steal anything. It wanted someone, and I think it wanted whoever left it alone the first time.
I've been driving Uber for 3 years. This happened in February of last year. It was around 4:20 a.m. I had just dropped off a customer near a quiet rural area outside Birmingham. While waiting for my next ride, I saw someone walking on the roadside. A tall man in a long, black hooded coat, face completely hidden. He stopped next to my back door. Didn't knock, didn't speak, just stood there. Something about him felt wrong, but before I could say anything, he opened the back door and sat inside. No ride request had come through. He hadn't booked me. I said, "Mate, you need to request a ride through the app." He didn't answer. His breathing was slow, too slow, almost like he wasn't breathing at all. "I asked where you're headed," I said, trying to sound firm. He leaned forward slightly, not enough for me to see his face, just enough to speak near my ear. His voice was sharp and raspy. "Just drive." I pulled onto the road. Every instinct was screaming at me to get out of that car, but I didn't want to provoke him. About 3 minutes into the drive, my phone buzzed with a new message, a ride request, from the same road I was currently driving on. The note in the request said, "Please do not pick up the man in the black hood. He is not human." I nearly crashed. I checked the mirror. The man in the back seat was staring directly into it, into my eyes. Still no face visible, just blackness under the hood. I pulled into a petrol station and said, "Car's overheating. I need to check something." He didn't answer. He didn't move. I got out, walked straight inside, and told the cashier someone dangerous was in my car. He immediately locked the doors. We watched through the glass. The man slowly stepped out of the car, not like a normal person. His movements were rigid, like his joints didn't bend properly. He stood facing the store, not moving, not blinking. Then he tilted his head upward, looking directly into the security camera. And that's when I realized he had no face. No eyes, no mouth, no features at all. Just a smooth, pale surface stretching across his head. The camera feed glitched violently, static, distortion, shapes warping across the screen. When the feed came back, he was gone. Just gone. The police found nothing. No footprints, no CCTV of him leaving. They told me it was probably a malfunction. But the security guard shook his head.
He said in 12 years working there, he'd never seen someone move like that. I quit Uber for 3 months after that. And sometimes when I'm driving alone at night, my backseat notification light flickers, as if someone is sitting there,